What's going on, everybody? This is your boy Stay Puff 1983, and I'm here today on this Monday to start a video series that I thought about over the last week, and I figured I'm gonna do it on an underrated series that don't really get a lot of attention. People don't really talk about it, so I'm gonna bring it to the forefront and talk about this series most likely every Monday. I'm looking to do it one issue at a time each Monday. If people like it, I'll keep doing it. And as you can tell by the title of this video, Morituri Monday, I'm going to talk about Strikeforce Morituri issue number 1. This series is an underrated gem from the 80s. Very underrated. Has a lot of different stories and how things play out. But the number one key about it, if you see the subtitle on the top, "We Who Are About to Die," is pretty much the theme of the entire series. We who are about to die. It deals with alien invasion. It deals with people trying to fight back on this invasion. It deals with getting superhuman powers, such as super strength, super speed, radiation, all types of powers, but it also deals with death. And if you know anything about war stories or invasions, death is a big part of everything that is told in those stories. But the thing about this series is that you gain these powers through a scientific experiment, but they tell you that you only have a year to live. If you live out that year, you're going to die because the powers are not meant to last forever. This makes this series interesting in the fact that you make the decision to get these powers. There's two ways you're going to die. You're either going to die fighting the Horde, which is the alien race that's invading Earth, or you're going to die because the powers are going to manifest inside you and you can't handle that manifestation, which they call the Morituri effect, and you end up dying because of it. And you can die in a variety of ways. And I'll show you an example. As you can see, the characters on the cover is actually based on a book that the main character reads. The Black Watch. Pretty much a story of a Strike Force team taking out the Horde, fighting the Horde in it. And is a character using his eye blast power to defeat the commander. So you think, these powers, they kick ass. Who's going to stop me? I'm unstoppable. I'm immortal. But that's not the case of Harold C. Everson, who is the main character, the blonde-haired guy, the main character in this particular story. And he goes to be true. He's chosen to be the next member to join the Morituri force. And there's an interesting section in here where they show what actually happened to that team that he read up on. But before we get to that, there's a page where one of the scientists and commanders of the unit asks him, "Do you want to die? Why do you want to die?" He answers it in a way where he wants to die fighting to save the country, fighting to save the world from this alien threat. And that he feels that and he's an author, he's a journalist, so he feels that by doing this, if he dies, he will at least be immortal through his writings and documents of the entire ordeal. And that's pretty interesting. If you look at what he's saying here, it's pretty interesting stuff. He's really fighting to be a part of the Morituri, and then they actually show him video footage of what happened to the Black Watch, and it's pretty grisly in terms of what they show. The Morituri effect taking full effect of the guy, and his face start to melt, and he explodes, and then you see his reaction to it. Like, is this really what I want to join up to be? And she even tells him that you better think about what you're gonna join, because this ain't pretty. And you start to see different people in it that decide on why they want to join the Morituri force, knowing that their lives is at a huge risk. It's already bad enough that you're going to fight an alien invasion that can kill you, but to have superpowers at the expense of your own life, and that it can grow and destroy you in a year or less, it's a pretty interesting concept. It brings forth the morals of what are you really fighting for, and is it worth putting your life on the line for it? Soldiers go out and put their lives on the line every day, but the chances are, if they survive, they can still come home to their families. They can still come home and live another day. These people, soon as they join the Morituri program and get these powers, they're pretty much on life support. They can only go as far as their powers can take them before the Morituri effect takes control and kills them. So you're pretty much on short-term life. And that's what makes this series so interesting. It's so many things. And here you see one of the girls, she's supposed to have super strength, but she ends up eradicating the door to get out of it. That's one of the examples of the Morituri powers that they give you. And, they go onto the battlefield. He sees, others using their powers, chucking tanks at the enemies, and then he gets blindsided by one. And he don't have his powers yet. And, he gets saved by the commander. She gets shot, but she lives, and then he goes gung-ho straight into the battlefield as if to say, I'm going to risk it all. And it was at this point where he realized that he really wants to join the Morituri force, because he feels that what else does he got to lose? He's going to defend his country. He's going to defend the planet against this threat that's coming to take over Earth. And he's at an epitome about it, And this is a great splash page, that shows what he's going through, all the stuff that he's learned, that, he saw on the video screen, and what he's reflecting on with his life. Then he goes to the lady and said, I'm ready to join. Sign me up. And this series it's one of my favorite reads. I always tend to go back and read this because it's always fascinating to read these character studies on what people are willing to do, not only to be accepted, but to fight for what they believe in, to save the planet, but at the same time, put their lives on the line by getting superpowers. Yeah, you can be as strong as Superman, but you're not going to outlive Superman, because these powers are going to manifest and they're going to destroy you in the end. And if the powers don't destroy you, the Horde will. And that's a fascinating study of this series. That's why I like it so much. And that's why I wanted to talk about it today. So you can always find these in dollar bins, 50-cent bins. The series is real cheap, not expensive at all. And I encourage you to pick this up if you've never read this. Strikeforce Morituri, it went 31 issues, and then it had a 5 or 6 issue miniseries that followed it. And I highly recommend anybody who hasn't read this, read it. Really good, really solid stuff. Underrated gem from the '80s, and yeah, it's I can't wait to dive into this more and talk about it when I do part two next week on issue two. But yeah, Strikeforce Morituri #1. Definitely go pick it up. Maybe you can join along with me and explore the story and see how it is and for your own eyes. But damn, that's it for Morituri Monday. Uh, Definitely looking forward to doing more videos, and hopefully this all leads up to the live show I want to do on Saturday. I'm looking around 2 o'clock start time, and whoever wants to join, hey, just leave a comment saying, hey, I'm willing to be on the first show that you do, and I'll be looking forward to that. I'm looking to definitely interact more with the community, and if we can talk about stuff like this, man, that'd be awesome, man. But yeah, that'll be all for today. Morituri Monday. Definitely check this series out, and I'll see y'all on the next episode. Um, yeah, I'm stumbling here, but yeah, but that's all I got to say for today. Definitely look out for part two next week, and probably I'll drop a random video during the week talking about some books that I have in my collection. So, peace out, y'all.